Next up, we have Spencer Chang. Spencer Chang is an engineer, artist, and designer stewarding the internet towards a medium for intimacy, creativity, and solidarity. Their interdisciplinary and interdependent creative practice explores human-centered computing interfaces and infrastructure that equips others to make their own technological narratives. Through their focus on infrastructural work, they continue the path laid by maintenance art to imagine, realize, and then maintain technological approaches that enable interdependence and human agency. Their work has been featured by the De Young Museum, Culture Hub, MIT Technology Review, and Frieze. Spencer Chang. And you need the dongle, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get this plugged in, and then let you go for it.
Hey, everyone. Give me 1 second. Hey, everyone. Thank you, Steve, for the introduction. My name is Spencer, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my creative practice and the internet. Specifically, I want to talk about this concept of how we can re-internet or reimagine the internet towards more interdependent and empowering forms. I'm an engineer and artist, and my work is both interdisciplinary in that it spans open source infrastructure, poetic tools, and participatory art, and also interdependent in that it manifests through many collaborations, using other people's open source software, and for my artwork, relying upon visitors' actions to activate it. The best way I've found to talk about what I do and care about is an attempt to steward the internet towards a space that enables us to not only love and support each other, but also create and dream together. So let's start with the internet. What does the internet feel like today? When I search the internet for answers, I find a common theme. People say that the internet is broken, that it used to be fun and it's not so fun anymore, that the golden era is over. People tell stories about how they fell out of love with the internet, how they feel lost, like they don't know where they're going, how it feels like they're living on rented ground. A lot say they miss the internet. It seems like the internet now feels like 147,599 missed notifications. It feels like the same 10 apps and platforms that dictate the content that is surfaced and thus allowed to exist. People don't feel like the internet is made for us. Instead, what do we wish it felt like? What do we wish it could be? Perhaps it doesn't have to be so big. Perhaps it could be small enough for us to take a stroll through it. It could look like a neighborhood, the kind with funky houses and neighbors who greet you on the street and have something to say. It could feel like a place, one where we can take each other on tours of our favorite places, one that supports our agency and promotes mutual respect, a place where we can find secrets and feel someone else's intimate thoughts. Instead of a singular monolithic internet, maybe we could have many. Maybe we could have a plurality. We could have fun ones, poetic ones, queer ones. We could imagine an amateur internet, a garage internet, a public library internet. It could feel more like a flock of birds or a sea of punctuation marks than a towering skyscraper. Mostly, we want the internet to feel like a place where we can live together, a place that feels like ours, and a place that feels like us. So what would internets that enable agency, intimacy, and solidarity look like? And critically, how do we get there? I think to get there, we have to not only offer alternatives for how the internet or technology broadly can be, but also provide the infrastructure and the tools to make it possible for others to realize those alternatives. My practice explores this concept of re-internet through making environments, which are spaces that provoke alternatives, and also infrastructure, which are the tools that make those alternatives possible. So to start with, I'm going to talk a little bit about both past and ongoing work in these spaces. The first one is HTML Garden. HTML Garden is a piece that imagines what a seasonal website would look like. The plants are digital native plants that are derived from HTML elements. And this environment offers an alternative pace of moving with technology, in that it grows slowly, day over day, season over season, and weaves this natural rhythm into a digital place. Cursor watching is another environment that plays with the idea of watching on the internet. On one hand, we have this pervasive surveillance from institutions and platforms. And on the other, we have a very tender form of people watching when we watch people use the internet. Through a series of live windows, as you see here, into various corners of the internet, you can watch the real-time interactions that people take across the web. And it offers these up as a performance and posits them as not only a form of love, but a potential path for liberation. And that's some sound from some of the websites. In addition to offering these alternatives, we need to make them not only possible, but also accessible. My work has and continues to explore this through PlayHTML, which is an open source infrastructure that allows you to create shared web experiences. So everything I do, everything I do on this website is shared across all visitors who are using it at the same time. And everything that happens saves over time. So when you refresh it, it stays there. What this allows is that it enables digital spaces to feel a lot more like physical ones, where your actions have consequences that can be felt by other people. And because it's a library, we've seen people make things from everything from collaborative writing exercises to interactive birthday cards to websites that feel like your living room. And finally, Sigil 1 is a ceramic object here that I created to hold my website. This web stone allows me to give my website to people by tapping their phones to it. I've been hosting workshops that teach people to make their own web stones to make this interface accessible. So with all the projects in my practice, I'm ideally trying to create things that embody both of these principles. Artifacts that not only provoke the possibility of alternatives and different ways of interacting with technology, but also the tools and means for others to explore their own versions of this possibility. Other projects here that I won't get into include Pac-Man Poetry, Poetic Creative Tools, a gathering place for internet dreams, and tools for archival and curation. AcknowledgeNet is the latest project I've been working on that I'll be presenting at the showcase in July. And it aims to be both an environment and infrastructure and juxtapose these two in the same installation space. The inspiration for this piece comes from how pervasive comments are across the internet. Anywhere you go, you'll find these fragments of text with weird profile pictures like a clown, or maybe their actual photo sometimes. And at some point, you'll realize that all of these comments are created by someone, somewhere in the world. So much of the internet, so much of its content is created by us. the internet is only the internet because of our labor. And AcknowledgeNet is an attempt to create a multimedia environment that not only credits the laborers of the internet, but also provides the infrastructure for archiving these contributions. So for this piece, the environment side, I wanted to play with the traditional dynamic of contribution in gallery settings, where usually the art towers over comparing to the contributor plaque. AcknowledgeNet's installation will flip this dynamic where the contributor plaque is the entire artwork. One that's a forever scrolling tribute to all the comments and contributions to the internet. On the reverse side, you'll find the infrastructure that powers the archival of these comments, and also a live performance of the computer that is actually doing the archival and populating the environments. I'm also thinking about how to open source this infrastructure so that others can help run it and contribute to the archival and participate in the piece as well. As it honors the contributors of the internet, AcknowledgeNet will be honoring all of you as well. And this project is a culmination of a lot of my work, and I'm very excited to share this with you in July. So to close, I'd like us to try something together. I'm sure everyone here has their phones on them, and I'd like you to take your phone, grasp it in your hands, and hold it close to your body like this. And close your eyes for a moment, and hopefully your phone is warm, and feel the warmth of the device against your skin. Think about the last picture you sent to a friend. Think about the last comment you saw, the last thing you shared on social media. Think about all of the data that has traveled through the internet to your device. Think about all the profiles you see every day, the faces of the people behind them. Can you imagine them looking back at you? Can you feel their warmth on the other side? Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. We are in the universe of data that is our internet. You are represented somewhere, somehow, in hundreds of web pages, on hundreds of devices. You are or will someday be on the phones of many in this room. The internet wouldn't be the internet in its current form without you. You are a core contributor to it. And everything you do with it has the power to shape it into something that feels more like the internet that we yearn for. Something that allows us to feel and connect with each other. Something that all of us, not just software engineers, can mold and shape. Something that feels like a home for all of us. One that we can not only share together, but that also can serve as a reminder of all that we are and all that we can be. The internet is ours to re-internet. Thank you.
All right, do you have any questions in the audience for Spencer? No? Okay. Oh.
This piece?
Repeat the question.
The question was to explain the concept behind this first piece that I showed, HTML Garden again. So the concept of this is to imagine a website that changes with the seasons. So you'll see right now that the plants are growing. At some point they will stop, and basically that growth is stable for the day. And every day after, it changes subtly in the same way that if you visited a park you might notice the flower change, 1 month to another month. And it sort of is very different from our traditional websites experience where either it's completely changing every day or it's completely static. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all.